And welcome here. Certainly, one of the first questions that shows up when you receive a client is, and what about the cabinet case material? For sure, you have many more questions to ask, but today I am bringing you facts, and it's my honor to receive a very special guest, Don Marketing. Don, could you please tell us a little about your story, about your career here at the Core Cabinets, and about your experience with cabinets?
Sure. Um, I'm Don Workington, as Vanessa already said. I've been at Decor for a few decades. I hesitated in saying that because it sounds unreal. But yeah, I've been here for 31 years. I started at Decor Cabinets as a drafter because I had AutoCAD training. So my first task was to draw all the pictures of the cabinets that we sell for our paper catalog. At that time, we had no digital catalog, everything was on paper. So that's what I started out doing, is drawing pictures of all our cabinets. It didn't take long, about 3 months after I started. Then I had the software that produces our bill of materials dropped on my desk and was asked, can you learn this? And that was dropped off to me by none other than Stan Pauls. And I said, sure. And so I ended up doing that for 25 years, programming our software to produce all of the bill of materials, all the parts that are necessary, all the CNC programming, make it available so that our cabinets would be parametric, because you can order many different things out of one cabinet, but all of those variables had to be available in our cabinet in order to generate all the correct parts. From there, I moved into our ERP department because we're changing from Product Planner to a new system that will hopefully sustain the company for many more years to come. And so I helped out in the ERP department for 4 years. And then 2.5 years ago, I moved into the customer service department, looking for a change, and I became the appliance specialist. And it's something that it was a position dreamt up that nobody else had, and that basically I would supply drawings to make sure that whatever cabinets you want, with whatever built-in appliances you want, that we would be able to size everything correctly and make it look really, really good and have it fit the first time and not have problems in that. So yeah, that's been my journey.
Thank you for sharing. So it's almost a lifetime working here at the Core. This is really cool. And before I start shooting questions at you, that you know is really typical of me, I want to say to our audience that they can send questions on chats, and we will be able to explain a little bit more about the subject that we have today. So the first question that I have for you is, can you explain us a little about the difference regarding the product itself? I mean, the particle board and the plywood. I want to understand better how it's made, because as far as I understood from your story, you worked on bill of materials programming and parameterization. So I'm assuming that you saw for real, in real cabinets, how those products perform, right?
Sort of. Wasn't necessarily involved in the building of the cabinets, just producing the parts for them.
Yes.
But as far as material goes, when I started, the only thing we had was particle board.
Okay.
Well, and I guess we had, at the time, MDF. We were doing doors. But particle board mainly, which comes with either a melamine surface, or it can come with the veneers that we do offer. Particle board essentially is exactly what it says. It's particles of wood that have been pressed and glued together into a board, which can then be cut up and made into cabinet parts and put together. The difference in plywood is also wood that has been pressed and glued together, but it's sheets of wood. And the strength of that plywood is determined by the number of layers of plywood that you have in it. Our plywood that we have comes with a pre-finished birch veneer. So it's treated much like our melamines are, because it doesn't have to go through the finishing system. But if you have a veneer, it can be ordered with all the different veneers that we have, or it can even have an HDF substrate on the face so it can be painted.
Okay.
Particle board comes to us 5/8 thick for cabinet construction. We use 3/4 inch thick for adjustable shelves. Plywood construction is all 3/4 inch. So the cabinet case and the adjustable shelves, all of it is 3/4 of an inch thick.
Okay, so we have different finishes. I mean, the color, because here we have a veneer at the top, and here only melamine, right?
Correct. So it comes with all our different colors of melamines,
Okay.
whether it's the natural maple melamine or white, or all the new ones that we have as well. I don't even remember what they are.
Nova Black melamine?
Yeah, but with the plywood, the interior material is always the pre-finished birch. There is no other choice for interior materials with plywood.
Okay.
The only way to get a different material on the interior is to do a finished interior.
So, on plywood, the material is wrapped up with 2 veneers layers?
Yes, birch
Okay.
on both sides, and it comes to us pre-finished.
Okay.
But it's also available, just like our particle board is available, with all the different veneers that we have in the decor line. So if you want walnut or clear alder or maple, cherry,
Okay.
those are all available with these core materials.
But as the standard, we will have the melamine for particle board and the birch veneer that actually is veneer as a standard.
Right.
If they want the sides to be finished, the top, the bottom, or even the interior, then on particle board we will have layers of veneer.
Yeah, the surface is just changed out. Instead of melamine, it's a veneer that's put on it. Same as here. The pre-finished part is not put on, but a veneer is put on, which we then finish in-house.
Okay, so if I want the interior of the cabinet to be finished and my cabinet case is plywood, what will happen is that instead the birch veneer, I will have, for instance, a clear alder veneer.
It'll be clear alder veneer put onto that surface, and then we finish that in-house, whereas this we don't have to.
Okay, so it will match the door because the layer will not be birch veneer. It will be like clear alder or rift oak veneer.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the homeowner chooses the plywood for the cabinet case material, as a standard, I will have birch veneer inside. But if I want...
Only birch veneer.
Awesome. But if I want the interior of the cabinet to be finished, then I will have a clear alder layer or a knotty alder layer or a maple layer to match the inside of the cabinet with the door.
Correct.
Okay. And regarding the melamine, I will not have the veneer layer unless I have the interior or the exterior to be finished. Then I will have the veneer layer.
The only thing with the particle board is we have more color variations for the melamine to finish your cabinet.
Okay.
So natural maple melamine or white melamine or black. So there's more interior cabinet color choices with the particle board than with the plywood.
But there's no, there isn't a huge limitation if I am choosing the plywood for the cabinet case material?
No, it's just you're limited to the birch veneer
Okay.
for the interior.
And do we have a limitation regarding the size of the sheet if I am choosing the plywood core?
So with particle core and with plywood core, we use 4x8 sheets, 4 feet by 8 feet,
Okay.
48 by 96, however you want to translate that measurement.
Thank you.
Being that our cabinets are allowed up to 96 inches high. When it comes to panels and accessories, with the particle core, we do have some of the materials available up to 10 feet or 120 inches. The plywood is limited at 96 inches.
Okay. And I can see here that we have two different kinds of plywood. This one, I'm guessing this is 5/8, and this one that is 3/4 and is the same as this one.
Yeah.
Can you explain me the difference between those two materials?
So these two are the same.
Okay.
That's our cabinet construction plywood. This 5/8 plywood that we have is Baltic birch plywood. It comes with a Baltic birch veneer on both sides, unfinished. And this is used for our slim pantry pullouts or our drawer inserts that we build in-house.
Spice organizers.
It's not used in cabinet construction.
So this one is for the cabinet case material, and this for inserts like spice holders, slim pantries, the entire pullout that we have on slim pantries.
Slim pantries, yeah, the whole thing is made out of Baltic birch plywood.
Okay, and on your point of view, is there any circumstances that plywood would be a better option than particle board for the cabinet case material?
When it comes to building cabinets, I don't know that one is better than the other. There is a perception that plywood construction will hold up in higher humidity climates. So if you're like on the coast where your humidity outside is always high, whereas where we are in the middle of the continent, the humidity is not super high. It is perceived that plywood will hold up better to that high humidity than the particle board will.
So we have two circumstances. The first is the humidity. And what about, let's think, if the material soak up the water? Would you think that plywood would be better than particle board?
So, I mean, any wood that is going to be exposed or in contact with water is going to soak up the water.
Okay.
That's a given. It doesn't matter whether it's solid wood, particle board, plywood, it's going to soak up the water. Particle board, when it does get wet, it will soak up water, whether it's through direct contact or humidity. If particle board swells, that's it. It won't go back down.
Okay.
It will swell and it will stay there. So you will always see that damage. Plywood, same circumstances. If it soaks up the water, it will swell. Depending on the time that it sits in the water. With humidity, it may expand. But then when it dries up again, like the humidity goes down, the plywood has a better tendency to shrink back down. Of course, if it expands to the point of delamination, that's it, it's done, it's finished. So that's where in a higher humid climate, it's seen as possibly accepting it better and lasting longer than particle board. Because particle board, if it soaks in that water or that moisture, either directly or indirectly by humidity, once it swells, it swells. the plywood can dry out if it's not excessive and return back to its normal state.
Maybe let's see if you will agree with me. The huge benefit in choosing plywood for the cabinet case material is the upgrade to maple dovetail, the pull-outs and the drawer boxes.
Okay.
That would be the huge benefit.
Yeah, so when you order a plywood cabinet construction, you automatically get dovetail drawer box and pull-out upgrades. As opposed to particle core construction, you have to add on the premiums for that. Yeah, it's maybe a nice add-on that you get those dovetail drawer boxes.
And depending of the order and how many cabinets with drawer boxes and pull-outs you have, it may be cheaper to have the plywood box construction because we'll have the dovetail drawer boxes and pull-outs. And let's think about the dovetail joints. Can you explain how they are made and if they are stronger than melamine drawer boxes?
Well, definitely it's stronger. I mean, this is a machine joint done in a dovetailer, which has been used for hundreds of years when it comes to construction. Our melamine drawer boxes use a butt joint with dowels, so it definitely, the dovetail construction is much stronger than dowels. You're using a solid wood here as opposed to a particle board. You may have a greater chance of warping with the solid wood, but as far as our drawers go, I know that the quality is really high and the wood is really, really good.
Okay, and is there any kind of drawer boxes that are not made with solid wood when you were talking about dovetail joints?
The only time we don't use the solid wood for dovetail construction is if you order a file drawer box. Because of the height and the limitation on our solid wood, we switch it to be Baltic birch plywood so that we can get the 10.25-inch box height. And it is still made with dovetail construction, so it's put together the same as the solid wood drawers are, but it's made with the plywood just so that we can get that size, that additional height.
Well, apparently we boosted some myths today. On my perception, the choose is more a client perception than a technical issue. I mean, our particle board is high quality material, and between plywood and particle board, that is not a huge difference. Do you agree?
I agree. When we brought plywood in, it was done more to satisfy our clients because our clients were asking for it because of that perception, so that because they felt that they could sell more cabinets if it was constructed out of plywood. So I mean, that was definitely a whole process to get those sheet goods and source them all so that we knew that the quality would match up to what Decor offers. But as far as construction goes and longevity, really the only pros I would say, and again, it's not something that I've experienced personally, but that it holds up better in a higher humid climate. As far as the particle board goes, and the construction goes, once your cabinets are in your house, you won't recognize the difference between plywood and particle board.
Okay, now I have another question for you. Looking to the material, I can imagine that plywood is heavier than particle board. Is that right?
Actually, it's the opposite.
No.
Yes, even though this is 5/8 thick and this is 3/4 of an inch thick, the plywood is lighter than the particle board.
This is new for me.
This is more condensed wood, and the wood that's being used in here is probably all hardwood. I don't know exactly what wood it would be because it's scraps, right? It comes from wherever, but it's pressed together and it's glued to hold its shape and form. This is more solid wood, which is generally a poplar core. Poplar is a light material. The weight savings are minimal, I would say. The only time you're going to notice that weight saving is when you're transporting the product and your installer is installing the product. Like I said, once you have it in the cabinet or in your house, you probably won't recognize the difference between plywood and particle board, except to maybe see the difference in thickness.
Thank you so much for all your clarification. Now I have some quick questions for you. Are you ready?
Sure.
Well, let's say, wow, let's say that you were replacing your kitchen on your house today. Your choice, particle board or plywood?
In all likelihood, it would probably end up being particle board
Okay.
because I probably would be ordering from our Zona Vita line
Okay.
as opposed to from the Decor line. Although I would probably mix the two lines because I really love solid walnut.
Okay. So what about your drawer boxes?
My drawer boxes in the Zona Vita line, I would want Legro box.
Liquor box.
Yeah.
Okay. And if I say that you need to choose decor, you would choose melamine or dovetail drawer boxes?
If I was to choose Decor line, I probably would choose a melamine because I may choose a different inside color for my cabinet case
Okay.
because we have some really nice offerings on those inside colors. And if you choose a melamine drawer box, the melamine drawer box will match the inside of your case.
Okay.
Whereas if you order a dovetail drawer box, it will always be this color, no matter what the inside of your case is. That's just a personal choice.
Okay. And what about the finishing? Stain or painted?
Both.
Okay.
Well, Zona Vita, you don't get that.
Okay, but thinking about decor line.
But
you
Decor
need to
line,
choose.
Decor line, it would be, I would probably do both. While I've been at Decor, I've purchased and installed 3 different kitchens. One of them was solid maple, raised panel
Wow.
in a door style that we no longer offer, but that was a long time ago. My second kitchen was a flat panel solid maple with Wheatfield black glaze. My third kitchen, I did a flat panel clear alder Cabernet on the bottom and painted HDF doors ultra white on top.
This is your current kitchen, right?
That was my previous to
Okay.
last kitchen. The kitchen I currently have, I did not design, but it is a Decor kitchen. It was in the house when I bought it. It has painted 5-piece doors with walnut accents.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. As I said, today we broken some myths here, and I really appreciate your time and your energy and accepting my questions and answering everything. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you for you guys to stay here with us. And I hope to see you in the next video. And why not to say in the next webinar. Thank you so much.